might be Oregon. We might see you in Tahoe.
I don't want to see her again. Put the phone away.
Just gotta know which trail to go down. Bye. Hi guys, TP here. Sketches on the trail, and this is a little bonus video that you get. As you can tell, I'm at home. We dropped Sketch off a little over a week ago, back on the trail, and so she's hiking. Her videos of trail life will resume here shortly, but she's doing great. She's hiking faster and farther than with me, which is probably a big bonus for her. So I have a foot injury in where, probably 7, 8, 9 years ago, I damaged my foot in a way that it does not heal properly, and it won't heal properly, and you just kind of have to baby it. I could probably have surgery on it, but there's no guarantee that the surgery will make it better, and there is a probability that it can make it worse. So until I come to the point where it is really bad, I have decided and elected not to do the surgery, because it could be the kind of like the end of any, you know, like athletic career that I want or want to have. So with that said, I came off because my foot was just not healing, and the thing is, I could not get enough rest. The 24 hours between hiking and hiking again, that 24-hour cycle where it was a 12 hours on, 12 hours off, it just was not healing. And in fact, we had been off trail for 2 weeks when we were at a theme park in California, and by about 2 o'clock, my foot just hurt so bad, and it was like, this is easy walking, walk to a place, stand in line type of a thing, and it just wasn't healing. So in that regards, I do believe that I made the best call for my foot. And something else that was happening that Jessica didn't know, and I broke the rule that we had, I think it's number 8, that we communicate all feelings. But this really wasn't a feeling. This was something that was going on internally with me. And with that, I kind of feel bad that I didn't tell her about it, but I thought I could get it under control. So before we went on trail, my husband and 2 of the children that were living in my house got COVID. And so we were completely isolated. That added stress to me. And when I get stressed, I get basically an irritable bowel syndrome type symptoms. It's never been diagnosed that way, but those are the symptoms that I get. And by about day 4 on the trail, I actually had blood with my stool, but my stool wasn't even hard. It was really runny, which, I mean, it's not the ideal, but usually I can get it under control. I let the stress calm down and we can do it. But as we were hiking longer and longer, it just wasn't getting better. And on top of that, it literally was, you gotta go now and you gotta go. And, there's no looking for a tree. One time we were walking out of Warner Springs, and there's these beautiful meadows that you're walking through. There's not a tree in sight. It's really not in sight that you can go hide behind something, and you've got hikers, 200 yards behind you and 200 yards in front of you, and you can see them. Remember our cow video with the cow on the trail? Yeah, that part. So anyway, I was having those tummy troubles, and it just wasn't getting better. In fact, last night in Idlewild, I literally spent all night in the bathroom because it was just so bad. So I said, that was about the time that I decided that I think I need to get off trail. I need to get these 2 ailments, whether it be fixed or they just aren't going to go away. The bowel movements did change. I got home and I got the real food. I got good food, but my foot hasn't. It is still stayed the same. In fact, I did a 6-mile walk a few days ago with a friend of mine, and we walked on really cushy trails, like no rocks, no nothing, and my foot was very sore at the end of it. And I can physically actually feel the little like rip in the tendon when I put my hand down there and massage my foot. So in that regard, I did make the right choice to come off trail. It really hurts my heart. I'm really disappointed in myself. But as we were talking about in our mental prep video, we did do we wrote down that if I quit and if I finish, what are some of the feelings I will have? And I will read you some of what I wrote. I wrote, if I quit, I will be happy because I tried. I'm having a hard time with that one. I will be sad because I failed. I'm really feeling that. I will be badass because I tried. I sort of feel that way. I gotta get there. I will be kind to myself. I have not done that. I will hike another day, and I sure hope that my foot injury will let me hike with Jessie when she comes up to Oregon and Washington. I will be disappointed because I let myself down, Jessica down, and I let those who were supporting me, I like to call them my fans, down. That one hurts really hard. Letting myself down, being disappointed in myself, and hurting for Jessie. Because I'm sad for her, because this was a dream. We kind of did it together, but we had 2 years where we planned together, and that was kind of fun. Together, we did a lot of planning together, and that was kind of fun. And so I appreciate that, and I glory in that, and I have happiness in that. And for that reason, I will hold my head up high because I tried, but I will also have tears of sadness. And I did not tell Jessie this for many reasons, and mostly because I'm the mom, and I can't take that mantle off my shoulders when I'm with my child, even if she's as old as she is. We hit a section of trail, and it literally was probably about 3 feet where the trail was gone. It literally had just fallen away, and you kind of had to step over. And it caught my breath. I talked about it as a be brave moment, but I don't think Jessica knew how scared I was at that moment. So then we go in to Paradise Valley Cafe. So we're in Paradise Valley Cafe, and Jessica's talking to her father on the phone as we decide, because she has a problem with her pants, her sunglasses. We don't have the food, we've got the snow in the mountain, we've got no micro spikes. We're in that decision-making time, and we have to decide if we're gonna go to Idlewild or not. So she's on the phone with her dad. And while she's on the phone with her dad, I am standing there and I'm listening, overhearing a conversation that the sheriff is having with a couple hikers. And he said that they had to pull 2 hikers off the mountain because they got in trouble. And I swallowed hard. So, and this is where I did not communicate my feelings with Jessica because I was the mom. I suffer from PTSD, and the sheriff talking about that, and the trail being gone, there being snow in the mountains, me having a panic attack on Mailbox Peak here in Seattle when we were climbing that with the snow. I literally had, all of those were triggers for my PTSD to come back. I have had 2 rather traumatic experiences in my life, but neither of them were my choice. I didn't choose these events, these traumatic events. One of them happened in 2002. I was in an auto accident. A gentleman, use that term lightly, a gentleman fell asleep at the wheel, or we're not sure what happened to him, but he was traveling around 60-ish miles an hour. I was stopped at a stop sign waiting for him to go through the intersection, but because he fell asleep, he veered and he hit me broadside in the driver's side. I was the only person in the car. The first 911 call doesn't even have a mention of my car because I'm in the ditch. And it's 5 o'clock in the morning here in November in Seattle, so it's pitch black. They can't even see me. The second 911 call says, I think she's dead. I don't remember much of that accident because I suffered a rather large concussion, as you can imagine. But that PTSD from that, I spent quite some time, what I call with my brain doctor, as he tried to re-trigger and rewire my thinking. He's been successful mostly. Every once in a while, something like the 2 incidents that I told you about, the trail being gone and the sheriff talking about rescuing people on the trail, really got me thinking. The other event that happened in my life was in 2009. I was diagnosed with cancer. Again, Not my fault. Not my choice. I know the doctor didn't say these words, but this is what I registered. This is what I heard him say. You have cancer, you're going to die, blah, 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 blah. You have cancer, you're going to die, blah, 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 blah. Both of those were not my choice. And as I am laying there in bed, tummy trouble, heart hurting because my husband's at home, my foot just won't let me sleep. I cannot help but think my choice of going on that mountain is going to kill my daughter, or it's going to kill me. And if I die, what's she going to think? Because she drugged me, because she forced me, because she did this. All of those are wrong thinkings. But that's what PTSD does. It makes you think wrong. I could not shake those feelings. I did not sleep that night. And it broke my heart to tell my daughter in the morning that I had to go home. She was mad at me. She said, I knew you were going to do this, Mom. And I am sorry. The biggest problem with having PTSD is it crops up whenever you don't want it to. When we took her back, we went to a theme park. I had a really hard time riding on those amusement rides. It was really hard to get on in the traffic of Los Angeles because we flew into LA. As we drove out and then back in, and then my husband drove around LA. We'd never been like tourist in LA proper. Every time another car got near us, I was frightened. I felt like they were going to hit me, which is totally wrong thinking. And I had to go back to that therapy sessions that I had with my brain doctor, trying to really think these people aren't out to get me. But it's so hard. It is so hard when you struggle. And those triggers that happened, I'm fighting right now. I am trying really hard. But that's my truth. And I'm so sorry, Jesse. But I couldn't live with myself if one of us died there. I just couldn't. And it was a choice. But rule number 2, we have to come home alive. And I had to come home. But I'll see you on the trails.